My name is Brother Sean, and I'm a member of the Teo community of St. Francis. We are a cyber community of interfaith Franciscans, ordinary men and women who are on a spiritual path, who nurture peace for the world. And we dedicate our lives from our monastery without walls in service to a supreme loving creator being that some of us call God and others have another name. But as we come from different faiths, we respect each other's belief and we share the words of spiritual wisdom from the great masters. The purpose of this short video is to reflect on the word surrender. For some, this is a challenging word, especially if you come to God from your mind, from your head center. But if you come to the Beloved from your heart, then the word surrender won't mean giving up. It will mean receiving a precious gift. I struggled with surrender. Yes, I did, and I would like you to allow me explain to you. Back in 1996, I lost a dear brother friend that we'd been close for 28 years from entering the monastery back in the mid-60s, where we trained together as nursing monks, but we were never allowed to stay in the same house of studies because we used to cause an uproar with giggling and laughter. The monastic rule forbade it. Sad, isn't it? Sad. But when my dear friend Eddie died in 1996, I felt as if a light had gone out in my life. We met up 4 times a year because we worked in different parts of the United Kingdom. Eddie was a senior nurse at the Mildmay Hospice in London for women and children with AIDS, and I was a senior nurse in North Wales in palliative care. But you know what? Bereavement and coming to terms with the loss of a dear friend like a blood brother is a personal experience, isn't it? Death and dying, you would have thought I would have been used to it, being a nurse specialist in palliative care, but I wasn't. I wasn't prepared for the shock that hit me 3 months after his death. So I was put on Prozac that introduced me to a whole new way of living. For example, I became mentally ill and developed bipolar. And not wishing to reflect on the losses, the hurt and the rejection from my nursing profession. But I do recall an incident in 1998, February 98, when I was working for a nurse agency in Manchester, in charge of the ENT unit, ear, nose and throat. And I was so low, so miserable. I was grieving the loss of my friend, and I just didn't see a purpose for living, because everything was closing in on me. And I realized that I had to pay the price for my manic behavior, where I was totally out of it, really and truly. But I remember in my love affair with God, kneeling in the gutter in the rain. I was on my way to church one Saturday evening before going on my night shift. And it was November, and I could see some of the houses preparing their Christmas trees, and the children, I could hear them giggling and laughing. I wasn't laughing. I was locked in a mindset of real sorrow, loneliness, misery. But I remember kneeling in the rain, in the gutter, shouting at God, saying, if you're a God of love, why is this happening to me? Why are you allowing this I've served you all my life. I've tried to see you in everybody, even in the dying. Take this cross from me. Or, and I won't swear here, but I did use some pretty strong Irish expletives. And I just said, if you do love me and if you are a God of love, then I need your help now. I need 3 archangels to lift me out of this gutter. And within 7 days, my prayers were answered. And I was introduced to 3 amazing people who were of the light. Maria and Lorraine introduced me to angelology, working with angels. And Brother Rob gave me a room in his home and helped me rebuild my life by empowering me to self-heal. And though it took 4 years to come out of that deep despair, I guess I was nurtured and encouraged by the divine, by Magdalena, by the Christ, by my friends, to surrender my heart to God, to surrender my heart so that I could access the peace of God. And then I realized that was a word I struggled with. I felt that the word surrender was to give away your life. I'd already had my life taken from me through mental illness, where I'd become a real introvert from being an extrovert, a party animal, living in the fast lane. But my whole life changed, and I struggled with the word surrender for several years afterwards. And then in 2007, having brought a group of beautiful light workers on a retreat to the Red Sea working with Magdalena, I came home and became very ill and developed a virus in my spine, which left me temporarily paralyzed. But that wasn't done deliberately. That was God's way of saying, we are going to help you listen to your heart. And over 6 months of having to depend on everybody to wash me, to assist me, it was quite embarrassing for one who's very independent, a type A personality who meets himself coming back. That's me. But during those 6 months, I was beginning to hear that inner voice again. Surrender your heart. Come home to my love. And I tried very hard to dismiss it, and in the end I'd no energy to dismiss it. I said, okay then, I surrender. And I remember kneeling on the eve of the 8th of December, which was a significant date for me, because on the 8th of December 1966, I became a young novice in a nursing order of Catholic monks. And on December the 8th, 1968, I was ordained a nursing monk. And every year I celebrated that day of my consecration to God. But you know, when I knelt down, I just said, okay, I've put up a good fight, I've made every excuse. I realized that what my mind was telling me was a pack of lies. My mind was telling me that God wants me to go back into a cloistered monastery, and I freaked because it took 12 years of therapy to overcome the 8 years that I spent as a nursing monk. It wasn't a pleasant experience because I realized, like many, many thousands of others, we were reprogrammed and we became quite fearful and negative. But that's changed now. So I convinced myself that this is what my God wanted me to be. And the moment I surrendered in faith, in trust, the voice that I sensed in my heart, I knew it was Jesus. I didn't have a glowing apparition or anything like that. It was a profound experience that I was loved. And that was something I never felt. Even as a Catholic nursing monk, I never felt loved by God. But I realized that He did not want me to follow my mind and live in fear. He did not want me to enter a cloistered community. That was the evil one playing games with me, those dark voices. He wanted me to surrender my heart and embrace the monastic life as a Celtic Franciscan monk who embraces all faiths. A solitary, outside the church, looking in from my own home. And I've never looked back. And though I battle each day with bipolar and severe depression, which I've turned it around as a prayer, and yes, I struggle with it, but I name it, I bless it, and I release it each day to God. And I'm given the strengths. I'm given the strengths to take one day at a time. And the purpose of sharing my journey with you on this video, whilst it might be embarrassing for you or painful, it has been painful for me, but in a positive way, because I'm releasing more of the layers. Yeah. And there is closure here. But I'm so pleased that I was given the courage to surrender. And surrender for me wasn't giving away my life. It was actually embracing my new life, devoid of fear, control, negativity, guilt. I had so much Catholic guilt and shame for leaving the monastery. I didn't want to leave, but I was forced to leave because of the inhumanity that we all encountered as young monks. The bitching, the uncharitableness, the deviousness, but again a human family like any family. But today I'm a lot happier. And I'm talking to a camera. I wished I could see your face. If you're struggling with the word surrender, trust an old monk. There is no fear. All you have to do is find a place where you can relax, light a candle, be still, take a deep breath, and if you're struggling, just say, Father, Mother God, in the name of the cosmic Christ, I come to you. I struggle so much in my faith journey. I don't know whether I'm Arthur or Martha. I don't know what's right from wrong. I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Will you help me? I surrender my heart to the mystical heart of God. I surrender my life into your hands because I know as a loving Father, Mother God, you will protect me. You will take care of me. And then we say thank you. And we go on saying thank you. For that releases a powerful chain reaction of love. And within a short time, you will experience the healing touch of God. And it will allow you to be free. And the gift that God has for each one of us, He doesn't ask us to do crazy things like the community asked us to do in the order. Ridiculous things like kneeling down for the chapter of faults, and if you broke a cup to hold it up and be ridiculed by your community. They said it was to do with pride. It wasn't. It was just, we forgive. The Father, Mother God has a gift for you. They only want you to receive their gift. And their gift is love. Will you not now surrender your heart and come home to a loving Father, Mother God? I would never lie to you. What I've shared with you was in love, hopefully to empower you. Come away from your stubbornness of heart and surrender your heart, your life, your journey, whatever ails you, in love. Please pray for me. Namaste. God bless you.